Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today's going to be our first official look at the all-new Ford Super Duty. And when I say official look, this is actually a chance for me to see like inside and out with the truck. But regardless, before we get into the video, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for giving me some time with this truck. I'll include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money, the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have the 7.3 liter Godzilla V8 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are now 430 horsepower and then 485 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood of the new Super Duty, it actually looks pretty similar to the previous version. You still have like the raised sections on it, and then of course the Super Duty logo stamped into the front. Now this truck is an XL, so you guys can see we've got the base halogen lights here up front, and then we do have a chrome front grille with a giant Ford logo. We've got fog lights down below, and then look at the tow hooks here. And then of course we've got the air dam here at the bottom, which just looks like a giant chin beard. Putting it all together, I wouldn't say that it necessarily looks any better than the previous version of the Super Duty, but you can definitely tell the difference, especially with the lights. Coming around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 275, 65, 18 in the front, and over in the rear as well. You guys can see the chrome theme continues there with those wheels. And then here's a quick look at the front suspension, as you can see, and then looking down below, looks like we still have a solid front axle. We've got our XLT F250 badge here on the side. Definitely looks a little bit different. We've got the trailer tow mirrors here, and then we do have fixed side steps here. Is this a Chevy? No, just kidding. But we do have a bedside step, just like what the Silverado has. And then taking a look at the rear, you guys can see we still have leaf springs here on the back, and then we have a solid rear axle. And then here's your full side view with the truck. You guys can see the 4x4 decal there. And from the side, it looks interesting there because you've got the little step on the side. So here's our key fob. We have our unlock function, our lock function, the flip out key, and then the Ford logo there on the back. Now popping into the bed, it looks like this is not dampened for the tailgate. Payload capacity with this specific truck, 3,391 pounds. Now in terms of the bed effects, looks like we still have little slots there for the cargo tie downs. No bed liner from the factory, but you can add that as an option. Looks like we still got a good old cargo light there at the top too. And let's see how heavy this is. It's actually pretty light. Oh, there is also a ruler here. I don't know if that's popping up on the camera because the lighting's horrible today with the snow, but ooh. Now here are the taillights. Definitely an interesting look here on the Super Duty, that is for sure. I will say these look really good for base taillights. You guys can see the little exhaust tip poking out there. And then we've got new bumper steps as well. And then the receiver hitch here in the center. Now with the 7.3, towing capacity is around 16,000 pounds roughly, which is really impressive for a gas engine. So finishing things up, I would say that, you know, with the taillights, I think that definitely improves the rear end style. But overall, the biggest things added to the truck are just things that are supposed to make it more practical, i.e. the steps. Now taking a look at the door panel, you guys can see here with the padding, and then you can see the trim up above, and look at the metallic gray trim. Again, straight out of the new F-150. And speaking of new F-150, same thing here with the seats. I mean, look at that. You've got the under seat storage as well. And popping into the back, you guys can see legroom back here is really good. Notice we actually have this like fully rubber floor, which is great. Got some USB ports back here, little storage pocket as well. It's funny how you can see the back here. That's interesting. And then headroom back here is also really good. But before we move on to the next feature of this vehicle, we need to talk about today's sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. Now, nobody wants to get into a car accident, an accident at their workplace, or, you know, slip and fall in front of a business, but sometimes it just happens to be a part of life. And I can speak about this from a place of personal experience because when I was 17 years old, I got in a really bad car accident where my car got totaled out. And because I didn't know anything about insurance companies or getting help by a law firm, I basically got completely screwed in the situation where I got no money for my totaled car and I was left without a vehicle. And this is where Morgan & Morgan can help out. They are America's largest injury law firm with over 100 offices, over 800 lawyers, and over 4,000 case staff that are all ready to help you out. Now I know at this point you might be thinking, Ben, that sounds really expensive, but here is the deal. All of the court hearings, the research, the negotiation, and more are free unless you win. And so if you're involved in some sort of personal accident, whether it be a slip and fall accident, an accident at your workplace, or maybe a car accident similar to what I was involved in, then you might want to get help from Morgan & Morgan. And don't feel bad that you're going down the route of suing. I know a lot of people might feel guilty about this, but what you have to understand is you're not suing the person or the business. You're suing their insurance company that has billions upon billions of dollars. And so it's more about making sure that you get the compensation that you deserve. So again, if you're injured in an accident, then you can check out Morgan & Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/Ben Hardy, or you can give them a call at pound 529, which is pound law. I think that's so cool that they got that number reserved. But again, www.forthepeople.com/Ben Hardy. Let's get back into the review. Now, taking a look at the front door panel, you guys can see again, pretty basic here, and then look at the padding down below, and then we've got all of our window controls. Front two are actually automatic, and then yeah, that's also out of the new F-150. Anyways, we've got your door lock and unlock, and then here are the trailer mirrors, as you can see. And then here's the front seat. There's the overall design. Looks like it's partially power adjustable, partially manually adjustable. And then we've got pretty normal looking pedals down below. With our parking brake right here, all of our light controls with the cargo light. And then the steering wheel is manually adjustable. Also, look at that, we got a little flag there on the side in silver. Well, it's got one of these. That is right, 2023. So here is the steering wheel, again, pretty basic with the material use all around, but we do have some controls there for the center stack. We've got our cruise control, volume controls, voice command controls, you know, all the normal stuff. Again, this is basically the steering wheel that's out of the new F-150, but now it's in the Super Duty. And then you guys can see we've got the turn signal windshield wiper stock, and then we have a new column shifter here. So notice the plus and minus if you want to shift through the gears yourself manually, and there is that little M button for that. Now in terms of the feel, a lot smoother with the overall actuation. Now taking a look at the gauge cost, you can see it's mostly analog. We do have that screen there in the center, which we can use to scroll through a few different menus, see different bits of info on the truck. I guess 2 miles per gallon, that's it's kidding. The truck has 47 miles on it, but still. Now in reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and we can even zoom in as well. And this also has the beeping when you put it in reverse. Now, as for the rest of the infotainment system, we do have a shortcut bar here at the bottom, and I guess that it turned on the radio when I pressed that. Now, it responds pretty well, so it's kind of like Ford's bigger unit, but just smaller. And then up above it, there's stability control, and then that's for the hazard lights. That's pretty random. There's just this like little storage thing below the infotainment system. Down below, we've got our analog controls for the radio, single zone climate in this truck, and then trailer brake controls. And then you guys can see with our drive line select, we've got 2-wheel high, 4-wheel low, and our drive mode select. We'll go over that in just a moment. And then look at all of the areas you can charge things. I mean, it even has like a full household outlet, and then we got more storage down below. So first off, let's see if this still has the traction control. No, so it doesn't have sport traction. So in the last generation Super Duty, you had like the sport traction mode, but this one does not. It takes a second for that to load, which is interesting. Anyways, with the drive modes, yes, we've got quite a few modes now. That's cool. So maybe the reason why they got rid of the sport traction is because of the different drive modes, but we don't have a sport mode, so that's strange that that's a thing. So here is the center console bench seat. So we got cup holders here on the top, and then you got some storage space right there. But you can pick it up to be a bench seat, and if you're wondering, right there's a little button that you press to pull it down. And then underneath the seat, you can see more storage as well. But obviously legroom's not the greatest because you got the whole driveline hump right there. Now next thing is the glove box setup. So we got the double glove box here, and like look at the trim there on the outside. I think that's pretty cool. And then the rest of the dash, again, just like the new F-150 pretty much. And then up top here is the mirror. We got the sunglass holder here, and then with the rear glass, it is fixed. Now here's our window sticker for this Super Duty. Again, this is an F-250. You guys can see with the equipment that this particular one has, pretty pretty baseline. Base MSRP right there. Total MSRP in this one is $56,980. And with that being said, I cannot drive this specific truck, but I do want to mention that I will be having a video of me driving another truck with a 7.3 gas engine next week. So if you're not subscribed, that's just another reason why you should subscribe. Let's cap off the video though. Well, let's talk about visibility here. So here's your visibility of the hood, both of the mirrors, throughout the rest of the rear. And well, this is gonna be like the world's shortest test drive because I'm just taking this back to his parking space. But hey, it's better than nothing. And like I said, I will have a driving review. In that driving review, what I plan on doing is a fuel economy test with the 7.3, and then, you know, obviously driving impressions as well. So I think you guys will like it. But what I will say is, you know, driving this from its parking space to the little filming area right there on the parking lot, it does feel substantially different. Again, I assumed this would happen, and I feel like, again, I need to take it on road, you know, like an actual drive to really confirm this. But it feels like the same change happened to the half ton, where it doesn't look all that different on the outside, but it drives substantially different. Now, it still feels like, again, going over the little bumps in the parking lot, it still feels bumpy, like a, you know, heavy duty pickup truck. But with that being said, it feels like it's more refined, just like what happened with the F-150 from the last generation to this current generation. So I'm excited to fully test this out. But initial impressions, I like the practicality things they've added. I think that as a base truck, I think they've done a good job with the styling. I think it looks really good. I mean, here's an old XLT right next to us. I mean, you guys, I mean, that one's obviously got some like lift and tires and everything, so it's kind of souped up. But, you know, let me know what you guys think about the new styling and some of the new features. I do like this a lot. Like, this is a huge improvement. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's in store for the rest of the packages. And if you guys are wondering, I do plan on reviewing every single package that I can, from base model all the way up to, you know, fully loaded, limited, you know, everything in between as well. So anyways, let me know what you think about the new Super Duty so far.